It's Saturday. I'm here in the office doing a video. Why in the world am I in the office on a Saturday? Because I have an owner-operator that's not doing too well. He's literally getting ready to give up. He's literally getting ready to drop his keys. He's about to sell his truck and just say, enough is enough. I'm out of this trucking industry. It's like a riddle in my head that I cannot solve, and I can't sleep at night when I can't solve riddles. I love them as a kid. I love them growing up, and I still, for fun, do it right now with my kids. So this is a riddle that I kind of need your help with, okay? I have an owner-operator with a 2016 Volvo 670. He has a D13 engine, an automated transmission, 465 horsepower. So he's got some really bad luck this year in all of 2021. There has been so many comments, Ronen, can you do a video on repairs and maintenance? Ronen, we want to know what it costs. We want to know what repairs and maintenance are like. So here is, I've made a list. I've done his consolidated pay statement for the entire year of 2021. And this driver has spent a little bit over $26,000 in repairs and maintenance alone in all of 2016. Again, that's $26,000. So I will post up all of his repairs and maintenance. Well, we're actually gonna go over the invoices from his repairs and maintenance, anything over $1,000 because there's so many of them. So I decided to take anything over $1,000. We're going to discuss them. So in this video, I'm going to give you all of the information that I have in order to make recommendations for this owner operator. We're going to analyze his fuel consumption and his idling. We are going to compare his mileage to other owner operators' mileage. So you will see in this video that this is a owner operator that produces high mileage. So it's not a lazy owner operator. It's somebody who is driving and should be making a lot more than what he made in 2021. And then we're going to make some recommendations. We're going to give him option A, option B, and option C. And with your help and your comments, we're going to recommend something for this owner operator. So I do need your help in this video. I need you to hear me out. I need you to hear all the data, and then I need you to make recommendations on what this guy should do. He needs your help. So let's get to it. First of all, let's go over some of his repairs and maintenance. I will post it up, okay? The entire repairs and maintenance throughout the year. So this driver spent $26,000 throughout the entire year. Now let's look at some of his repairs. So again, there are different types of repairs. Most of his repairs is done here at the shop. The hourly billable rate here for our owner operators is $85 an hour. You will see from some of his other repairs that are not done here in our shop, they're billed at about $145 an hour to $165 an hour, depending on which dealership he went to get the problem fixed. Okay, so we here we have discounted rates for our owner operators at $85 an hour. The ET invoices are split up in two parts. There's labor and then there's parts used. So let's have a look at anything over $1,000. We'll have a look at his repairs. So let's look at the parts used for this big repair. That's $4,800. Again, this is all in Canadian funds. At the end of the video, I will convert all the Canadian funds into US funds. In the US, the shop rates are pretty much the same. They're about $135 to $175 an hour. So let's get into the parts. So he did do an annual safety inspection. He had to put a water pump, something to do with his bumper, a deer guard, seat belt, fog lamp, coolant jug, some bearing, an air filter, and that all came. You can see all the parts that was used. You have your total for the labor and for the parts, and then you have the grand total of this invoice was $4,800. And then you have, oh, sorry, that continues. There's some more parts used over here. So the first two, I'll post them up. That's his repairs. Next, we have another one that was done in January 25th. Another $1,000 invoice for a filter cap, a pipe, sealing ring, some drum, brake shoes, PM fee, something to do with a used tire, and the labor cost. So there's another $1,000 repair. Now we have something at Mackey's Truck and Trailer Center in Truro, Nova Scotia. So this is a $6,300 bill. And from what I can see here, so this is injectors that were replaced in Nova Scotia. Now let's get to the next one, a $2,500 bill and this is throughout the entire year of 2021. Level valve, wheel balancer, some U-bolt clamp, tire steer, You guys can have a look at the bill at the bottom over here. I won't go into every single one, and then you can see the labor charges up on top. Here's another $1,000 invoice, about $591 in parts. I don't know what these things are, but I'm sure you will. Next one, a $2,700 bill. Coolant filter, water pump, 07-19 Volvo V. I have no idea what that is. It's $1,122, and you have 7.3 hours of the shop rate. So from the beginning of the year to about the midpoint of the year, our shop rates did go up from $85 to $95, and that's why you'll see the hike in hourly rates over here. Okay, here's another $2,200 bill. You can see all the parts that were used over here, and then all the labor charges up here. Let's get into the next one. So here's another $1,000 invoice. Computer engine diagnostics fee, cord to be credited upon return, module. I don't know what these things are, but I'm sure you guys do. So those were all the invoices throughout 2021 that were over $1,000. He has a lot of minor, he has oil changes, he has minor repairs that were done. I did not include any invoices that were less than $1,000. I only took the invoices that were more than $1,000. So now you guys have the data, $26,000 worth of repairs throughout 2021. Now, the second thing that we're going to analyze is his fuel consumption. After we analyze the fuel consumption and the idling times, then I'm going to show you the annual statement. So how much miles he drove, how much money he made, and what was his net income for 2021. So for those of you that are thinking to become owner operators, for those of you that are thinking of buying trucks, one thing that you need to remember, we're gonna introduce a phrase into our trucking industry. It's gonna be the phrase, hopefully it's gonna be a catchy phrase. It is, do not live in a movie. Okay, so this phrase, I just want to say it to you guys because it's not always roses out there. We don't always make money, and a lot of money. Sometimes you're going to run into good years, and then there's going to be some that are not so good years. So you'll see with this owner operator, this was a year that he ran into a lot of problems and he had a lot of maintenance. We're going to go over his repairs, and we're also going to go over his annual pay statement. How much did he make annually? So don't live in a movie. So guys, here's the data for the fuel consumption. So this driver drove a total of 122,000 miles based on my computer. The stats are from January 1st to November 30th. The driver drove 6.5 miles per gallon. That's how many gallons he used. He got $105,000 is what he spent on fuel based on the 6.5 miles per gallon. And his idling time, he's idled 440 hours at 16.8%. So the idling is not outrageous, okay? We have other drivers here that are idling at 30% and 31% and 25%. So the idling is not outrageous. The fuel consumption is horrible. So now that we've gone over the stats for the fuel consumption, let's start comparing his miles per gallon to other drivers here in the company. So let's take his truck, let's take newer Volvos. We can compare it to 2017, 2018, 2019 Volvos, and we're also going to compare it to trucks that have a battery pack APU, and we're going to compare it to trucks that have a diesel APU unit. So let's talk a little bit about so this driver really loves Volvos. He doesn't want to hear anything about Freightliner Cascadias. He wants to stick with Volvos, completely refuses to transfer over to a Freightliner Cascadia. I don't know why, but it is what it is. Some people have a preference with the truck that they want to drive. So let's just compare him to other Volvos with newer units and see what kind of information we can get out of the stats. All right, so this is the truck that I want to compare him to because I feel like the drivers are extremely similar with what they do. So I've compared him to unit number 358 inside our company, who also drove 128,000 miles. So this owner operator drove 122,000 miles, and the one I'm comparing him to drove 128,000 miles, which is almost identical. This driver over here had 7.8 miles per gallon, and you see that his fuel consumption is at 7.8 miles per gallon, and his idling time is much lower at 8%. Now, the reason that the idling is lower is because this driver here has a diesel APU unit, okay? So the difference between a truck that's idling versus a truck that has an APU unit, whether it's a battery pack APU, or in this case, we're comparing the diesel APUs, the way that they work is a diesel APU will consume 1 gallon for the night. For a 10-hour night, it will consume 1 gallon of diesel fuel. A truck that's idling consumes 1 gallon per hour that it's idling. Okay, so these are huge differences, big differences when you compare it over the course of a week, over the course of a month, and over the course of a year, which is what we're doing. So this driver spent on fuel $92,184. Let's just compare the two trucks. And our owner-operator spent $105,000. So let's put these numbers side by side because they both did the exact same mileage. So we have $105,104. So we are talking about a difference of $12,900 throughout the course of 11 months, okay? So we are doing, it's not an annual. I only took the data. I only had the entire data until November, until the end of November. So this is an 11-month consolidated statement. And this is $12,920 is the difference in 11 months between the two trucks on how much they consumed fuel. So here we have $12,920, which is the difference. And we have another $26,000 is what this driver spent on repairs. So what can we offer this driver? So now that we compared him to a different truck who did the exact same miles, driving primarily the exact same destinations, we do service the Midwest USA and the Southeast USA. All right, so now let's get into the interesting stuff. Let's get into his annual pay statement, okay? So we'll post it up over here. We'll block off the names. This driver got paid for 128,000 miles. So 128,000 miles he did in the last couple of months of the year. We introduced a fuel surcharge, and then there is his Q1, Q2, Q3 bonus, clean inspection, and we released some of his holdback when he was going through his repairs. So that's the upper portion. $198,000 is what he made. Now we can go into some of his expenses, which is the health insurance, the disability insurance, the buy down insurance, and then we have his fuel Canadian, fuel US. So you can see that he spent here $86,884. Now, you guys are probably asking me, Ronen, why in the world do the stats on the computer say different than the numbers over here when it comes to the amount of fuel that he spent? So when I'm looking at my data of how much money he spent on fuel, that does not include the fuel discounts that we pass on to our owner operators. The actual pay statement is more realistic because that's what we actually charge them for the fuel. So every time he fills up, yes, the pump price says, let's say $4 per gallon, but he's only paying $3.60 or $3.50 for it, right? Because every owner operator, for each gallon that they fill up in the US, here we give them a 25 cents per gallon discount on their fuel purchases. And when I pull up the stats on my computer, it doesn't show that, but these pay statements are 100% accurate because that's what he paid through these pay statements. So you'll see that he paid $88,000 over here, and then we'll start going through all of his deductions, which are his repairs, the $26,000 repairs. So here he is, he drove 128,000 miles, got paid, and that's in 11 months, and he got paid net to his pocket $79,000. So again, guys, it's not always roses and you can't live in a movie, all right? These are actual pay statements for the driver, and we need to recommend something for this driver. So number one recommendation that we can do, and I need your help because you're gonna vote on A, B, or C, okay? So all you have to do is in the comments, just write A, B, or C, and I know how you vote. So option number one is we stay with the truck for another year. That's option A. Option B is we tell him to give up and get rid of his truck, sell the truck, take his $50,000, $60,000, whatever that truck is worth, and then just, wash your hands and do whatever else you want to do. Or option number three, okay, which is we sell the truck for $50,000 or $60,000. We upgrade him to a 2019 Volvo, okay? We put the $60,000 in that truck. We finance $60,000 for the next 2 years or 3 years. Let's see what his payments are gonna be like. So I'll just post this up over here, okay? If the driver right now sold his 2016 Volvo, he's going to get $60,000 for it. He might be able to get a little bit more, maybe 70, but we'll go conservative, okay? $60,000. Today, the price of the Volvo, the 2019 with the $15,000 diesel tri-pack Thermo King APU unit on it, will cost him $120,000. These are Canadian funds. If you convert it to US, give me 2 seconds, I'll do the conversion for you. But let me just post this up over here. So here's a $60,000. If he takes it over the next 36 months at 6.25% interest rate, and he will be able to get that interest rate because of his huge down payment, he will be paying $1,832 per month. $1,832 per month is what he's going to be paying over the next 36 months. What's the advantage for the owner operator? Number one, the breakdowns. The breakdowns are costing him a fortune. Trucks that do not have APU units, they idle a lot more. They have a lot more problems with the EGRs. They have a lot more problems with their sensors. I feel, and I see this through our own fleet, the older models, the 15, 16 Volvos, even the 14 Volvos, they have a lot of problems with these trucks. Okay, the 18s, 19s, 20s, they don't have nearly the amount of problems that those older units have. And I feel like it has something to do with these battery pack APUs and the diesel APUs, that when you don't idle the truck does not have as much problems as the trucks that do idle. So right away, I mean, even with this payment, the $1,832, the driver is gonna save $1,100 every single month just in the difference between these two trucks on fuel consumption. So we're talking about $1,100 just you're going to save it in fuel savings between the truck that he's driving right now and this newer truck. Now he's left with $600. He also has a newer unit. He's going to be paying $600 for the difference between these two trucks. He's going to be paying in order to drive a newer truck and not have, hopefully, these repairs and maintenance that are eating him alive. Okay, these repairs and maintenance, $26,000. Our Volvos that we have, the newer ones, 19s, 20s, 21s, they are approximately what we spend per year is between $6,000 to $8,000 is what we spend on them per year on repairs and maintenance. Sometimes there's the bigger years, about 10, 12, but nothing near anywhere close to this $26,000 that this owner operator spent throughout the course of 2021. So guys, I really need your feedback. Please, option A, option B, and option C. If you have other options that you have over there, please let me know. Okay, I'd really like to help this owner operator and give him an option, and I will do a follow-up video on this topic. I will do a follow-up video in 3 or 4 months. I will talk about what he did, and we'll go on into his new pay statements, and we'll see whether or not it was worth it for him to upgrade his truck. I'm Ronen. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed these stats. It takes me hours to put these videos together. So please, the least you can do is give it a thumbs up or just put a comment down below. With this video in particular, just tell me option A, option B, or option C. I would love to hear your feedback, okay? Hope you enjoyed something from this video. I'm Ronen, R-O-N-E-N, and please do not live in a movie. How do you like my phrase? Don't live in a movie. I'm gonna use it all the time now.